Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal back with a new podcast. We are on the 30th edition of Mr. Informal Podcast. Wow, 30th edition. Imagine that. And so, I just want to let you know that I'm thankful that you are listening to this podcast. I cannot believe that I have reached the 30th edition. I cannot believe I am this inspired and motivated. But I also want to let people know that whenever you listen to my podcast, you actually learn something and hopefully you get some insights into the industry, whether it be fashion and tech and also whatever it may be that I talk about in this podcast. And so Labor Day is almost coming. I cannot wait. I will have a 3 days off from work. It's also a national holiday. And I just cannot wait. So these are the topics for the 30th edition of Mr. Informal Podcast. Target has released a new men's line or men's brand called Goodfellow Company. I will tell you about that. That is an exciting, and I will give you reasons later. Louis Vuitton and Supreme collaboration, the aftermath. I'm telling you right now, it is not a good aftermath. The third and last topic is the rising cost of smartphone. I cannot believe a smartphone costs the same as a high-end laptop. And so, let's start out with the first topic. So as of today, August 27, Target released or finally released a new menswear line called Goodfellow Company. They said that it was going to release August 27, but when I went to the store earlier today, this morning, it feels like it's been there in the store for more than a day. So maybe it was an online launch of August 27. But what about the brand? So check out the brand. Just go to Target and type in Goodfellow Co. That's GoodFellowNco. So basically, I'm going to tell you right now, this brand is a combination of Gap and J. Crew combined. The prices of, not only that, the prices are good, ranging from $10 to $40. Nothing more than $50 from what I saw. Not only that, I actually bought $180 worth of clothing on Target. Clothing on Target, that is the most I've ever spent on clothing on Target, because I actually love the jackets and also the trousers that they provided. Fit well. Not only that, it was great looking. There was also a slim cargo pants chinos, but they were stretchy. They did not look good on the thigh, so I wasn't able to buy them. The jackets were great, especially the bomber jackets. They remind me of vintage fits and length, and I had to get them. So I'm probably gonna buy some more in the next 2 weeks. I need to get the black one, the varsity jacket, and also the gray bomber jacket. So I have to get those because I'm needing more jackets, even though I live in SoCal, not needing a jacket. But again, if you are looking for a J. Crew looking items at a reasonable price or even low price, you have to check this brand out. Now I'm saying high praises here, but there are items that are not good, such as using faux leather or pleather, polyurethane, also stretch chinos. I'm not into stretch clothing, but if you're into that, then it's beneficial for you. Also, some of the fits, such as the jackets or woven jackets or even the blazers, are too long. I mean, it's not something for me, but if you're into that, then you should go get it. Also, in terms of the fit, there's some hit or miss, but again, everybody have different body types and different body size, so what may not fit for me may fit for you. So I'm not gonna talk about the future because it just started for Target, but this is a great first step for men, especially for the Target. At least men have another option for reasonably great looking clothing. Not only that, this style is quite American, or should I say the Americana style. It's not Ralph Lauren, but again, it's a mix of a Gap, J. Crew. That is what I would describe Goodfellow and Company at Target. Not only that, whoever Target hired, or whoever he is, that the new menswear designer for Target that is creating Goodfellow, you gotta give credit where credit is due. I think this is a good first step for Target, a good first step for the company who's absolutely taking menswear seriously. Not only that, I know they have Mossimo, Dennison, and Hager, but I don't think they're as good as a strong look compared to Goodfellow and Co. And so that's what I think. Again, I ended up spending $180 worth of men's clothing in Target. That's the most I've ever spent on clothing in Target. Will there be more? Well, if they keep this up, there might be, because I do like the fit and the look. And could you ever believe spending that much on clothing in Target? I'm sure there are people out there who spent more than I have. I'm sure there's a lot more ladies that have spent more in Target than I have, that's for sure. And so we're on to the second topic, which is the aftermath of Louis Vuitton and Supreme collaboration. When this happened, I'm telling you, the lines were long. I was seeing it on the news, I saw it in person, and I told myself, no way I'm getting into that line. Not only that, I could have spent some money in there, but I already had the kind of stuff that I needed. I mean, there were some attractive items such as the wallet, the bandoliers or the keep-all, and also the keychains, but was it necessary? Did I really need it? No. But the aftermath is that a lot of resellers, I don't even see a lot of these items being worn or being used here. So most of the items I see are reselling online, whether it be Grail.com, whether it be eBay, whether it be Amazon, or whether it be your personal profile, or whether it be one of those certified online items store. And I'm telling you right now, the cost is, we're looking at above 500 to thousands and thousands of dollars. And again, I'm not saying that all of them are being sold or resold, but because there are people out there who use them and who collect them. But I think that if you're buying something for especially this, is it really worth it? I mean, I can understand the value of it, but is it really worth going into it? If you're a type of person whose business is reselling, yeah, that's fine. But if you're a collector who doesn't even use it, I don't really find that a good excuse not to use it. I think if you buy something or even collecting, you gotta at least show it off or use it. There's a reason why you bought it, unless you're collecting it and then in the next 10 years you're gonna resell it. But again, isn't that the point of a person goal is reselling? Again, if your point is to resell it right now or in the next year, yeah, that's fine, because that's what your goal is. But if you're a collector and then the next 10 or 20 years you're not going to use it or you're reselling it, then what's the point of it? At least enjoy what you have. And will there be another collaboration of this? Right now I haven't heard any. It's a pretty strong collaboration. It's sold out, and I'm telling you right now, it's selling like crazy off the reseller markets, off the charts, $500 and thousands of dollars. In the next 10 years it'll even be worth more, even if Supreme go out of business. Again, it'd be worth more because it's a Louis Vuitton. Not only that, it's a limited edition. We got the black, white, brown, black colorway. I mean, again, there were items, but if you ever saw the line, it was pretty long. People were camping out, and even in Asia, they had to shut down some days. And even Louis Vuitton had to announce, hey, we're not selling it, or we can't do this at this day. It was pretty crazy. And a lot of people were actually not happy about that, especially resellers. So the aftermath of this collaboration is, well, it even got worse because the prices went up. And it seems like the normal person can't even have one. And only the people in YouTube showing up, or only the collector, only the dedicated have this items of this collaboration. Will there be another one? Well, we'll see. Hopefully next time they got it under control. And so let's talk about the last topic of the 30th edition of Mr. Informal Podcast. With the announcement of the Galaxy Note 8 back on August 23rd, this past Wednesday, the pre-order price was $930, and that's the base price there. We're not talking about the 128 gigabyte or the 256. So if you live in SoCal, that's plus 10%, that's $90, that's over $1,000. Not only that, the rumor iPhone 8 is supposed to be costing $1,000. Now, not tax included. Man, it's baffling. I cannot believe technology have risen up the price. And I cannot believe these smartphones cost as much as a high-end laptop, whether it be a Windows Surface Pro, an Asus notebook, a Razer gaming laptop, even an Apple MacBook Air. And a laptop can do more than a smartphone. And I'm looking at these specifications that these smartphones provide. I absolutely do not think that they are worth $1,000. Now, if you tell me that this phone was made in China, made in Japan, fine, I'll give you that. I'll give you $1,000. If you told me it was made in America, fine, I'll give you $1,000. But if it's made in China and all these specs are from in China, are made in China, are assembled in China, you're telling me that it should cost $1,000? That's absolutely ridiculous. $1,000 is not cheap. $1,000 is a lot of money. And there are people out there who takes a couple years to save up $1,000 to buy their next phone. And they want their phone to last at least 2 or 3 years until they save up for another phone. And the rising cost of this is, we have no one to blame but us consumers for this. Because if we're willing to purchase this item, then obviously the businesses and brands are going to test us and say, hey, you know what, we're gonna rise the price and see if people will buy. And there are people who will buy, especially Apple fans. Apple fans will basically buy anything that's Apple, even whether it be costing $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. They will buy anything at any price, and they will not complain about it, which I never understood. So if you're gonna buy a phone that's out right now that's cost $1,000, wait a couple months, even a year for the price drop. Because I absolutely don't see any phone right now that I can say, you know what, this is worth $1,000. If you tell me that the iPhone has dual active SIM, fine, I'll give you $1,000. But as of right now, it should not even cost $1,000. But I bet you someone will buy it, and it's gonna sell millions and millions. Because Apple fans just, I'm not saying they're blind, but they will just basically buy anything that's Apple, no matter how much it hurts in the wallet, no matter how impractical it is. And we have no one to blame but ourselves, consumers. If phones are just planned obsolescence, and they're just gonna die out the next year, then what's the point of even spending $1,000? Again, you might as well wait for the next couple years until the price drop. I mean, you have other options. You have online, you have the carrier, you have Best Buy, you have other electronic stores such as Fry's. I mean, you have a lot of options to buy smartphones. Don't just be stuck to one. You should spend your money. I mean, you should buy a smartphone that has the best value, that has the best features, that is practical to what you need. If it doesn't do what you need at a given price or a higher price, then there's no point of spending. Like, don't be blind buying something because other people buy it or because there's hype to it. Buy it thinking it will last you more than 2 years, because $1,000 is a lot of money, and $1,000 could take a couple years to save up, and that's not fun saving up. I mean, it is quite a hard work saving up, because if you work your ass off to save up for something, and then suddenly you don't see it as practical, then what's the point of saving up? I mean, you could wait 1 year or 2 years to buy the last generation phone, because they're all fast now. The difference is not even that wide anymore, or that huge. Phones nowadays are reaching a plateau to the point that even the low-end smartphones can provide you everything that you need. And so that just basically concludes the topic of just the rising cost of smartphones. It's getting ridiculous. So tell me what you think down in the comments below. Hopefully people realize that sometimes having the best value, practicality will always win in compared to design and hype. And so this basically concludes the edition 30th of Mr. Informal Podcast. I hope you learned something. If you have any suggestions or any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Again, I cannot wait for Labor Day, and happy Labor Day for all you. Go out with a bang before the summer ends. And so I will see you in the next podcast. Check out mrinformal.com. This is Mr. Informal signing out. Bye-bye.